Bravo, je suis sûre à 100% ou à 99,99% que vous êtes arrivé à raconter l'histoire la plus longue. Et oui, c'était beaucoup plus long, mais vous avez pu facilement la raconter. Eh bien, elle est pourtant fausse, cette histoire-là. C'est une légende urbaine connue sur tous les continents. Vous voyez un peu le pouvoir du storytelling alors. Découvrons encore plus avec Miss Ugochi.
When the team done body, you go dance. Hey, shake body, shake bounce. Hey, shake body, shake bounce.
Bienvenue à la rubrique Les interviews de ici. Aujourd'hui, nous avons en notre présence Madame Ugochi qui va nous parler un peu de storytelling. Bonjour Madame Ugochi.
Merci.
Ah,
I can say that one. I can say bonjour. I can say ça va.
okay, for sure. Please, could you introduce you to us?
Okay. Je m'appelle Ugochi Obidiegu. I'm a safety professional. That's I'm still learning my French, but I'll do better very soon. Anyways, I'm a safety professional. I create safety education products and programs for children to reduce avoidable accidents. So I train the children, I train teachers and parents to ensure that our children are always safe. And very recently, we started a program where we're equipping youths that have suffered substance abuse with digital skills so that they are able to fend for themselves and do not relapse to drug abuse.
Tu es vraiment très connu sur le plan du storytelling parce que tu l'utilises beaucoup dans tes activités, tu l'utilises pour faire tes campagnes de sensibilisation. Peux-tu nous dire ton secret et dis-nous comment faire une très bonne histoire, un bon storytelling?
Okay, so I began storytelling officially in 2016. By that time, I had started the work I do in safety and had gotten on the Yali Regional Leadership Center program. And part of the questions wanted to know what I was doing. And then I had to, sell myself. And that was the very first time I was doing something like that officially. Because prior to then, I just used to write on social media without any particular technique. But with this, I now had to learn that to even get other opportunities, I should be able to put my thoughts together properly. So over the years, I had to get better at writing applications and talking about the work I was doing. And that was what helped me to secure the Tony Lumelu Foundation grant, the Mandela Washington Fellowship, the AWEC program, because of good storytelling. Because again, if you follow those techniques, because I had to learn those techniques on my way, I didn't know it at the beginning, but because I was able to be willing to ask questions, learn from others who had gone ahead, I was able to see that when your story has progression, when your story has a direction, it makes it easy for whoever is listening to you to follow. So no matter the question anybody asks, even when they ask you, have you failed before? What were the lessons from your failure? If you take it through what happened before, how it was bad, what you currently know now, or what you do, and then how it made a difference, you will still give a beautiful story. And that's what makes stories interesting and captivating.
Let's go.
Okay, so what I have done, or what has really helped me in storytelling, talking about my work in safety and in other things, is by being authentic, being real, sharing my own personal experience. So I'm not telling lies. I'm saying something that has happened to me, and then I'm creating lessons out of it, because people can relate to you as a person when you can share about your struggles, about your success, about your achievement, about your progress. It's not enough to just come and give the fantastic success story. It's good to show progress. So when you are authentic, when people can tell that you are real, you are not lying, it helps them to believe you. It makes them believe in the work that you are doing, and it makes them to trust you. So your story must have a purpose and it must be authentic. So that is what has really helped me. The fact that I try to be as authentic as possible. I say the truth about it. And then, of course, I am, there's a purpose, because I always like to attach a lesson behind whatever story I'm sharing.
Thank you, Elot. Merci beaucoup pour cet éclaircissement. Maintenant, quelles sont les étapes pour réussir à raconter une bonne histoire et comment savez-vous que le message est vraiment passé?
Okay, so when you want to tell a story, it's always best to follow a process, to build on it. Because when you build on it, it makes it easy for your listeners to follow you. So for instance, when I want to tell a story about the work I am doing on safety, or the work I am doing with on substance abuse, I will start with what was happening before I came into the situation. Now, after I tell you what was happening before I came into the situation, I will tell you what I am doing now that I am present in that situation. And then I will tell you how am I doing it differently from the others. So when I take you through that process, it makes it easy for you to see where I am coming from, what I am currently doing, where I am going, and how I stand out. So no matter what you are doing, when you want to share a story, always try to create that direction, create that journey. Talk about where you are coming from. Talk about what you are doing now, how what you are doing now has made a difference in this new space. Then talk about how the methods you are using. So for example, if I want to use the example of safety, I would say, before I started sharing knowledge on safety, there were so many avoidable accidents affecting children. That is where I'm coming from. Now, because I started visiting schools and teaching children how to stay safe in different situations, their knowledge level has increased and they are able to make better choices when they find themselves in an emergency. Now, how am I doing this differently? So I use a child safety storybook series. Using stories, I'm able to simplify the safety knowledge in a simple way that the children can understand. I'm also making sure that the characters in my book look African, they look like the children, and the children can relate to them. Now, anybody that hears what I am saying, they can see that I'm coming from somewhere. There was an accident happening to children. Now I started teaching them. The children now have more knowledge. Then I'm also sharing that I'm using a different method of stories, African-looking characters. And from that progression, the person can follow and understand my story. So whenever you want to share a story, no matter the sector, always ask yourself, what was happening before you came into the situation? Or how bad was the situation before you came in? Or what was wrong that was going on before you came in? Then now that you came in, what is the difference? Then how did you achieve that difference? What things make you stand out? Because the truth is, many people might be doing the same thing you are doing, but your how would be different. So you must be willing to take your listeners, your audience through that journey.
Wow, fantastique. Vraiment, merci beaucoup pour tous ces éclaircissements et toutes ces petites techniques, toutes ces méthodes qui nous permettent de voir comment réussir notre histoire. Okay, Gochi, we really thank you for all. Merci beaucoup. Et on se dit à bientôt.
All right, bye.
Okay.
À bientôt.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see you all this morning. You're all welcome to the third edition of the Annual School Safety Summit. Thank you very much for coming today. I know how in Lagos, every Saturday, there's always so much going on. There are weddings, there are traditional events, there's just so much. But you chose to spend your time with us this morning. And for that, I'd like to say thank you very, very much. And we also know how it is when it rains in Lagos with the traffic and all that. But you still took our time to come here. Please, can we all put our hands together for ourselves? I am an equiper. What this means is in the various roles I show up in, I equip the people I'm called to serve in various ways. This means that as a sought-after speaker to young people, I equip them with practical skills they can use to elevate themselves regardless of a known name, family connection, or money. As a child safety storybook author, I teach children across the continent how to stay safe in different situations. Also, as the convener of the School Safety Summit, I equip educators like yourself with practical tips that you can replicate in your schools. Because for me, it's really important that we all know what to do to ensure that children who find themselves in our environment do not get hurt. When I was thinking of this year's School Safety Summit, I wanted something bigger. I wanted more people to have access to the information we usually share every year. And I thought, how do I make this happen? So I decided to involve partners. So who am I going to partner with to ensure that we can reach out to as many people as possible and make it worth your while? So as a Mandela Washington Fellow, I applied for the reciprocal exchange component. What that means is the US government will sponsor an American to come down here and work with that fellow in whatever project you are doing. With my peer collaborator in Phoenix, who I met last year when I was in the US for the fellowship, we won the grant. And courtesy that opportunity, the US government sent him down here. Yesterday, we had our first set of events where we trained some educators. Today, he's going to be on one of the panels. And in the coming days, we'll also do certain activities. So I'd like to thank the US government for sponsoring that aspect of things for this event. I'd also like to thank Ikeja Electric for believing in us. When they found out that we needed them to come and speak here, and they said, okay, we would not be here, but we've heard about you. We support what you're doing, and because of that, we're donating some packs so that your participants can win something today. I would also like to thank Cattle Foods for providing the custard. Some of you got, the first set of people that came into the hall, you got some custard, right? That was courtesy Cattle Foods. I'd like to thank Fumi Lori. Through her network, we got more educators. More are still coming. They've been calling and calling all the lines. Thank you so much for that. I'd like to thank all our partners that work together to ensure that we're here today. Avicenna gave us this hall at no cost to us, just because they believe in what we are doing. Kids Core School gave us their hall yesterday for the training we had with educators, just because they believe in what we are doing. So I'm not just here to say thank you to all these amazing people who have sponsored us. I would also like to share with you why we are doing this. In 2017, the theme of the first School Safety Summit was protecting the child in school, because we had seen so many accidents that could have been avoided, and we wanted to do something about it. We started. Last year, the theme was emergency response preparedness in schools, and we also did the same. This year, we decided to bring in the aspect of children with special needs, because they seem to be ignored, or somehow our society seems to exclude them, maybe not consciously. And so the reason we're having this conversation today is we want more people to become more informed, because knowledge empowers. If we know what to do, we'll be able to protect them. If you do not have enough safety systems for the regular children you have in your schools, how are you going to manage a child who uses a wheelchair? How would you manage a child who cannot see? How would you manage a child with maybe other learning disabilities? And that is why the conversation we're having here is very important. Today, we've lined up amazing speakers across different areas, because we believe that you need to have a well-rounded view of this subject so that you begin to see how this can work. Out of the many millions of children that are out of school in Nigeria, over 50% of them are children with special needs. If we do not do something about it by even making the opportunities available to them, how would they be able to enhance their potentials? How would they get education? It all begins with us beginning to open our hearts, open our school doors, putting certain policies in place and structures to ensure that these children do not just get education, they also feel safe and they're able to harness their potentials. So I hope that by the end of today, when you're leaving here, you would learn a minimum of one thing, and you'll be willing to go forward, share to as many people as possible, and see how you can begin to create a change in your own environment. I believe that Nigeria might have so many problems, right? But if we keep doing our little eventually adds up to a lot, and we're going to make the effect that we want to achieve. So I am an equiper, and I am called to serve all the people who I have to make them have as much information as possible. Thank you very much.